I got a good one for you today. Look, man, I listened to this interview and I'm excited. I'm hyped up for the Canelo Golovkin fight, and right at the end, it's kind of like when you watch a movie and it's a great movie, but at the end, it's just like a terrible ending. Well, that's kind of how the interview went. So let me break it down real quick, and I'm gonna make it fast, okay? All right, they're asking him a series of questions. First of all, let me tell you, the Gennady Golovkin camp will start July 15th. Okay, so that's breaking news right there. They're going to start the camp on the 15th, and he only wants an 8-week camp for Golovkin. He said a fighter at his level or at this state in the game, it's a little different. So they're going to do they're going to do things a little bit different. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? So they're having a completely different style of camp for Canelo. Okay, well, I mean, that's not too shocking, but let me continue on. So he says, we know Canelo has been working out on social media and sending cryptic messages, basically sending cryptic messages to Gennady Golovkin, like, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to knock you out, just trying to basically big dog him through the media. So he kind of talked about that. And then he said, this is not a money fight. This is a legacy fight. He's basically saying, we don't care about the money, but okay, this is where it kind of started turning south. I'm like, well, if you don't care about the money, then why didn't you unify with Saunders? But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. He said Canelo will be the most skilled fighter that they have fought to date, and that's including better than Danny Jacobs, and I agree with that. To be honest with you guys, I agree with that. So they're not looking past him, right? And he said, okay, this is where it got interesting. Okay, he said Mayweather made him understand that it takes more than red hair and flashy hands to be a great fighter. I was like, damn, Abel, shit. So but I loved hearing it because I love that raw truth. I mean, I love the brutal truth, right? It's that cold, hard, bitter truth. And the truth is, Mayweather schooled his ass, and then, like I said the other day, he went into the sparring sessions with Gennady Golovkin in 2011, got spanked. Okay, jumps into the Mayweather fight 2012, gets beat, and then we get the Canelo catch weight, we get all the bullshit. So I think that was the turn of it. That's where everything turned right there, 2011, 2012. Okay, so I repeat, he said it takes more than red hair and flashy hands to be a great boxer. Okay, and then he said, look, Gennady Golovkin is coming to fight. This will be the best fight of his career. And, I've heard Abel Sanchez talk a lot of shit, but he's never said anything like that. Okay, I mean, you can't just go around saying that, but he's saying, look, this will be the best fight of his career. Then he says, we plan on stopping Canelo in round 8. And he said, if not, between 8 and 12. So I liked hearing that, too. They're not going to leave it up to the judges. He said, we plan on stopping them in round 8, between 8, hopefully 8, but 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in the deep water, we're going to drown them. Okay, so, we're going to break them down. We're going to walk them down like Gennady Golovkin does. He says, Golovkin's going to be too big, too strong, too powerful. He's going to impose his will and knock them out. Okay, so I like that. That was good. But this was the bad ending right here. So the guy interviewing him, he says, well, after this, let's say there's no rematch. Okay, let's say that that Canelo gets beat. He doesn't even want another fight with Golovkin, because we know Canelo has the rematch clause, which is crazy to me that the champion does not have a clause, but the guy that's fighting for the titles, he does have a clause. And I'm about to put out another video in a minute. It's a bombshell, another bombshell. But then Abel Sanchez said, well, they said, well, what about unifying or becoming the undisputed champion with Billy Joe Saunders? And Abel Sanchez, he was beating around the bush. He's like, well, we'll see, maybe we might just go ahead and move up, or we'll try to get the rematch. And the guy's like, you could hear the reporter like, well, wait a minute, like, why wouldn't you want to go unify? You guys said you want the belts. I mean, even like 2 or 3 years ago, people were walking around with belts saying, give me your belts, I want your belts. belts. It was like this thing on social media, like, give me your belts, And so Abel Sanchez, he just, he didn't seem interested in unifying with Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, and that's where the bad ending came for me, because it's like that's all they talked about. Like, I don't understand it. Gennady Golovkin would annihilate Billy Joe Saunders. What is the deal now? It's like, this is, I mean, as a fan, I feel a little bit cheated, a little bit manipulated, a little bit lied to, a little bit deceived. Like, why, what's going on here? I mean, he should have said, hell yeah, we're going to beat Canelo, then we're going after Saunders, and we're going to become the undisputed middleweight champs, and then we're going to move up to 168. So, and they discussed Andre Ward, and by the way, there was a lot of guys in the comments section, saying, Golovkin, he don't want that work. He don't want that work from Andre Ward. Well, if you guys remember, Andre Ward moved up to light heavyweight and said he will never come back down to 168. He said if Golovkin moves up to 168, he won't meet him there. But in the past, that's all he said. He said, meet me at super middleweight, and we can get it on. But now, Andre Ward is like, no, I'm up here at 175. If you want me, come up here. So that's a clear duck. I mean, that is a definition of a clear duck by Andre Ward. So, like I said, it ended bitter sweet. Like, I'm liking what I'm hearing, I'm liking what I'm hearing, I'm liking what I'm hearing, and then bam, he's like, nah, he just didn't have any kind of interest in Billy Joe Saunders or the WBO. So, I thought that was just that just hit me the wrong way. It really did. Now look at this shit going around right here. See that you got Jacobs. Now you remember the the iconic social media picture with Gennady Golovkin, sitting on the throne, the middleweight king. Now Danny Jacobs, putting out a picture like he's the middleweight king, claiming he got robbed and all this shit. So this guy just needs to move on. What he's doing basically is he's self-destructing. He's ruining his own legacy with all this I got robbed crap. So look, even the hardcore, Golovkin haters and the Danny Jacobs supporters, they know who won the fight. Very few people, I'd say maybe 7 to 10% of the population believes Danny Jacobs actually won. So he needs to get off that shit. So anyway, guys, that's just I wanted to throw it out there real quick. The camp starts July 15th, 8-week camp. He said you need more than red hair and fast hands to be, a mega star, rather. And as far as a unification with Billy Joe Saunders, I mean, there was very little interest, and he kind of skirted the question. He started stuttering and mumbling. Well, it's just so. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you feel deceived? Like, what do you think?